Hi, thanks for stopping by Angel Gilding. I'm Alex, and today we are working with this piece, and I am going to show you, can I chrome it? So what that means is to spray chrome. This is a paper mache piece that we silvered, gosh, over a year ago. And you can see that it's been untreated, uncoated, and so it has a beautiful tarnish to it, but it's very uneven. So you can see the tips of the fingers here are beautiful blue, purple, and then we've got some splotchiness here. And that's just all naturally what the silver has done over time. And although it's beautiful, I want to re-chrome it. And we are going to be using our gold tinted top coat to get a beautiful even gold finish over the top. We're going to be using all of the products that come in our starter kit, our Angel Chrome starter kit. So I'll walk you through how we do that, but first of all, we need to remove this chrome, and we're going to be doing that with our silver remover. So first off, first question everybody asks, chrome, silver. I don't want to use chrome, I want to use silver, or vice versa. When it comes to spray chrome, they're the same thing. Spray chrome is called spray chrome because it's seen as an alternative to electroplating chrome. So electroplating chrome is something that's not done nearly as often as it used to be because it's very cost prohibitive and it's not very environmentally friendly. So instead, you can do spray chrome, which is spray silvering the front surface of a piece. So it's the same silvering process that you would do generally to make a mirror, like the mirror that you have in your bathroom, for example, but it's on the front surface of an opaque piece. And here at Angel Gilding, we have a full line of products, Angel Chrome, that will allow us to do just that. First off, we're going to start with removing the silver. Let me show you how we do that. Okay, so first up, we're going to be using gloves. And in this step in particular, it's more to protect this piece than to protect our hands. Silver remover is a product we make here in-house at Angel Gilding, and it is safe enough that you can use it on your hands. I've done that many times when I've spilled silver. If you don't know, silver can stain. It gives you a dark brown stain on surfaces, and it can do it to your skin. So you could use it on your hands if you wanted to. But for this, I want to go forward with a clean piece, so no more oils or anything from the hands. I'm just going to use a paper cup here, cotton swab, and then I bought more or less equal amounts. I'm not worried about getting this exact, but combining parts A and part B of the silver remover, soaking it, and I want to show you just how quickly this works. You can see just with that one wipe back and forth, it's going to bring me back down to my base coat. So this piece was base coated before when we silvered it the first time, and that was just using our Angel Chrome base coat. So we're not going to be base coating this piece again. We don't need to because the silver remover is going to bring us back to that beautiful base coat. So I'm going to just keep going through here. Here we go. So we've got our hand back to its original base coat, and now I need to clean it very well. Cleaning is an important part of the silvering process, and I'll show you how I do that. So we have our hand here and Dawn. This is a product that comes in the starter kit, but of course you can buy this locally as well. And we're just using a really small amount on our gloved hands with some water and taking the time to scrub it really well. We recommend a gloved hand because it helps you to get into all those nooks and crannies and really make sure you're taking the time to clean it well. Okay, all clean. Let's head back to our work area. Okay, we have our piece clean and it's ready to go in the process. But first we're going to measure our chemicals. So there are essentially 4 different chemicals that are essential for the process. We've got the Tin Activator that's going to bond the silver to the piece. We've got the prep coat that wets out the surface that allows everything to flow over it. And then we've got the silvering chemicals. So I like to have everything measured and ready to go We're going to start with Tin Activator. Now this does need to be mixed fresh daily. And all of the instructions are on the website. The information about dilution and all of that is on the website. But it's 1 milliliter of Tin Activator concentrate. We're gonna mix that with 250 milliliters of distilled water. Throughout the process now, we're gonna be using distilled water. We're done with tap water. We don't wanna use that throughout the process here. The common question we get is, can I use reverse osmosis or deionized water? Yes, you can use any one of those. And we have on our website a handy and free way to check if your water is pure enough for the silvering process. Okay, work it gently, ready to go. Put those to the side. Now I'm going to measure my prep coat. You'll see that the starter kit comes with 3 of the 25 milliliter cylinders. We measure everything in milliliters because it's much more precise than ounces. We are going to go ahead with, we'll do 15 milliliters of prep coat. Got that ready to go. Now, silver and chemicals. Angel Chrome is a 2-part silver solution. We've got the silver solution and the reducer. I'm going to start out measuring the silver solution. I'm working with our pump spray assembly here. This, of course, comes in the starter kit. 15 milliliters of the silver. Nice thing about the pump spray assembly is you don't need to have an air compressor set up. You don't even need to have electricity, really. Once again, 485 of water. We specially formulated the chemicals so that they're all the same. So you'll see that the silver, the reducer, and the prep coat all have the same dilution ratio. Just another step to make it a little bit easier for you as you're working with products. That on nice and tight, and just like the other chemicals, rock it back and forth to combine the chemical with the water. Okay, on to the last chemical we're measuring here, the reducer. $15 milliliters. Okay, all the chemicals are ready for me when I'm ready for them. So let's move it into the next step. Okay, I'm using my blue tray here. This is part of the bench kit setup. It's not in the starter kit, but it's something that you can purchase individually. You do want to have a tray to collect all of the wastewater because that needs to be properly treated before you dispose of it. And we've got a waste treatment kit on our website. So as you recall, we cleaned this really well with the tap water and the Dawn. Now I need to rinse it off with my distilled water. And right off the bat, of course, you're going to see that that base coat is hydrophobic. What that means is that it repels water. Water is beating up on it like bonkers. And so that is why right after rinsing it here, I'm going to go in with my prep coat. Now I should mention that my plan here is to leave this base part here as the paper mache, just so you can see the contrast, which is why I'm holding it. I'm not worried about, how the silver can deposit on here. I can clean that up later. But it also makes it a lot easier for me to manipulate this piece to really get all over it. So I'm just spraying this prep coat. You want to go really liberally over the surface. Anywhere it seems to be beating up, The prep coat is what is allowing the rest of the chemicals to bond well to the surface without heating up the way that that original rinse water was. So I'm going to take my time and really make sure that it's nicely coated here. Okay, so we've got the prep coat applied. Now we are going in with the Tin Activator. This is what's forming the bond from the silver to the piece. So it's really important that I get this coated well. And you'll see that I just went ahead straight over that prep coat layer with Tin Activator. You don't want to rinse in between. That's going to help with the flow. Okay, I'm going to let this sit on the surface for 30 seconds. Common question I get is, 30 seconds. What happens if I go more than that? And that's fine. There isn't anything magical to the 30 seconds. If your piece is more complex or larger and you feel like you need more time to ensure that it's allowed to deposit on there, that's fine. You don't want it to dry, but beyond that, you have a lot of flexibility. So let's give it a little bit of time to sit on the surface. Okay, that was more or less 30 seconds. So now I need to rinse it. And just like we wanted to be really careful to make sure that we had plenty of Tin Activator over the surface, we also need to be really careful to make sure that this is rinsed off, because any excess Tin Activator is going to cause problems in the silvering. It can cause some imperfections. Need to pump up my assembly here. That's ready to go. Now I need to put on my respirator. You do not want to breathe in these silvering chemicals. There's our silvered hand. So I wanted to point out two things here. One was, did that silver develop instantly? No, and that's by design. We've specially formulated this Angel Chrome product line so that the silver develops evenly over time. The reason you don't want it to be instant is because you need that time to make sure you've got a good even coverage. The other thing that I wanted to point out is that you can see here there's a lot of texture to this piece. And that's because this is a paper mache piece, right? So our base coat is an 8-to-1 ratio. It's a thin base coat, and that's because we want to be able to see the texture, right? I want to be able to tell that this is a paper mache piece. So I love how the silver really bounces off of the texture. Once you've got the piece just how you want it, you rinse it off, and then you need to let the silver fully dry. Another question we often get is how long until I top coat it? And there isn't one automatic answer for that because it depends on your environment. So for my piece, what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to leave it actually overnight. I'm going to just let it dry completely overnight to show you what happens, to see if it will be okay uncoated overnight. So we'll come back tomorrow and we'll do that gold top coat. We are back. So as you can see, we've got our brilliant silvered hand. It's looking gorgeous, definitely dry, and it does not have any tarnish to it. It's really nice, bright, brilliant silver. I want to point out, I am not expecting, and it's not required, that you wait a full day before you top coat. I wanted to show you that that's a possibility. As long as you're in a typical environment, you know, not very salty sea air or kind of sulfur in your air, things like that, you really could wait until the next day if that's what works for your workflow. Otherwise, really you just need to wait until the silver is absolutely dry. And that can happen in, you know, a matter of minutes, depending on your environment. But I wanted to show you that you can indeed wait until the next day in most environments. And I did go ahead and just use this vinyl mask. I just kind of roughly put it on the base here, because as you remember, we didn't silver that, and I don't want that to have the gold tint. I want that to show the paper mache portion to it. So I've just got that covered now, and as soon as we apply the top coat, I'll uncover it. So for the top coat, we're using gold tinted resin. Now we also have a couple other options here at Angel Gilding. In addition to a gold tinted resin, we have a chrome tinted resin and an untinted or a clear resin, as well as some candy colors so that you can kind of mix and match how you want. Today, we're gonna go for the gold. This is an 8:1 ratio, and our starter kit does come with a measuring cup. And if you wanted to measure volumetrically, you could use the guide here for the 8:1 ratio. However, I think that it's easier and more accurate if you measure by weight and if you measure by grams. Just like how we do milliliters instead of ounces, we like to do grams instead of ounces because it's more precise, and actually the math can be easier. So for today, I'm going to measure 64 grams of resin with 8 grams of hardener. So 8:1 ratio. Let me show you this here. Okay, I have got this out of the way. I have got this tared and ready to go. 64 grams is my goal here. Okay, I've measured out 64 grams of my resin. I'm tearing the scale, and now I'm going to measure out 8 grams of hardener. Okay. Wipe that down carefully. Now I'm going to take my face mask and head over to my paint booth. Here I'm using our Crown Spraw tool, another product that is found in the starter kit, and I'm going over the piece with a double wet coat. So some products will tell you to do a misted appearance. We don't recommend that. You want that coat to be wet. And then if you do want to apply more than one coat, you want to allow the piece to flash off for about 3 to 4 minutes, which is what I chose to do here. Now here we have our finished gold hand. Sometimes we get asked, can you make a gold mirror on a 3D object? Because we do have the gold chemicals to go on glass. And the answer is, unfortunately, you cannot spray gold chemicals. But as you saw, you can spray silver and then top coat it with gold. And we think that that is just a brilliant tone. Did not need to do any additional mixing beyond adding the resin and the hardener. That resin was pre-tinted for me. And I think that that is just a striking result. So in answer to the question, can I chrome it? The answer is yes, you can most certainly chrome a paper mache hand. If you have any other ideas about other things that you'd like me to try to chrome, please let me know. If there's any other colors you'd like to see, any of that, you can put those in the comments below. Otherwise, you can check out our full line of Angel Chrome products, both the complete kits and all the items that are sold individually over at our website, angelgilding.com. Thanks and have a great day.